The first thing I think we must understand as being a creator is seeing that we like the stuff that we're creating. Consistency is what takes us from average to excellence.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to The Creative Grind. I'm Michael Bishop. Today, I have a guest that I can't wait to dive into this conversation with. He's one of my mentors. He doesn't know that, but he is to me over the years. He speaks to the youth a lot. He is a youth pastor here in Houston, Texas. I would say he's a good friend. His name's Will Cumby. Will, thank you for joining me, bro. I appreciate you, man.
My guy, the Bishop.
Hey, I'm trying, man. You gave me a lot of inspired me a lot in ways that spiritually I've always felt like, Will's somebody I can come to. So when I thought of a guest to have about this conversation, which is faith and creativity, you were one of the first people that came to my mind. So just tell us about yourself, man. Who is Will Cumby?
Who's Will Cumby? Well, let's see. I am, first of all, a child of God, man. That's something that I take personal, is being the Bible calls us living testaments. And so I want to make sure that my walk is something that, whether you have met me for the first time or if you've met me 100 times, that you can say, man, that guy knows the Lord.
Right.
I'm a husband, and I've been married for 15 years, got 3 wonderful children, 2 jobs I also take very personal. It's making sure my wife and my children are happy. And then I've been a youth pastor for 25 years.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I love that. And beyond that, I do a lot of training and coaching for youth pastors across the nation.
Okay. And where has your, in your career, how has creativity kind of, and being your own creative, how has that been in your career, especially with ever since COVID and everything else? I feel like everyone had to get more.
Oh, absolutely.
What can you speak on creativity and how it's helped you?
Well, I think every day is an opportunity to be creative, right? Every day there's a chance to take the world, take the clay that God has given us and saying, what can you do with this? The truth is the gospel will never change because the Bible says he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. However, it's the delivery that changes. I think during the pandemic, we learned that reaching whatever your audience was had to be different, had to be creative, because they weren't coming to us. We had to go to them. And truthfully, pizza parties aren't really bringing them in the door anymore. So instead of doing a come see, we have to do a go get.
Right.
And a friend of mine, a really good pastor, once said, any box we stay in too long will become a coffin.
That's so good.
And so I think that's from youth ministry on up to senior ministry, is that we are constantly looking at ways to reinvent ourselves, not to be somebody new, but a reimagined version of who we are.
So would you, in my mind, I feel like me being a faith-based creator, which that's what I believe. Even I need to start making sure I give God all the praise a lot more. But being a faith-based content creator, I feel like it's because we're made in Christ's image and he's the ultimate creator.
Come on.
So what is your thoughts on the fact that God is the best creator? You
Absolutely. Well, let's unpack that, right? So in Genesis, we find out, or we discover, we read that he created the world. So can you imagine God and his infinite wisdom and his amazing abilities? He's got this paintbrush and he says, listen, he goes from this blob of nothingness. He says, I'm going to make a blue sky. I'm going to make brown mountains. I'm going to make deep blue seas. I'm going to make purple afternoons, right? He does this. And then he begins to make fish in all their wonderful colors and animals in their colors. And he creates man in his image. Let's go there.
Yeah.
We look at all the things that God created from the very first day to the last day. He looks back and over again, the Bible says he saw that it was good. I like that, because what he did was he would create it, and then through his eyes, he saw that it was good. The first thing I think we must understand as being a creator is seeing that we like the stuff that we're creating. Man. Never in the creation of the world does God go, hey man, so these mountains, would you give that a 5 or a 7? I think we've got to be impressed by what we present before we expect anybody else to.
Dang.
Here's the second thing that I realized when we talk about God being a creator is we were created by a creator and we were created in his image. Yeah. So if we were created by a creator and we were created in his image, that means therefore we were also created to create. Now, don't limit that to creating children.
Yeah.
Because we all have the innate ability to create, but it's different.
Yeah.
It might be a podcast. It might be a business. It might be a food. It might be a song. But in every single one of us is the ability to create. That's why we look at Psalms 139. He says, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. He said, I knitted you together in the wombs of your mothers. We were created by a creator, and therefore he says, your turn, get to work.
That's good.
So if you're not creating, I mean, come on.
That's disrespectful to
It's
God.
right? It's part of your design.
Wow.
You were created to create, but don't limit your creation to creating a baby or making a movie or creating a song. However you create, which means to take something and you take or just take a substance and say, what can I do with this?
Right.
It might be taxes, it might be a business, but every day you're looking at what can I do with what God has given me? It's the parable of the talents, which actually, if you go back and I'll slow down after this, is actually, it means opportunities. So he's given you how many opportunities and what will you do with them? And do you know it takes just as much effort to bury your talents as it does to build with them?
Ooh, dang. See, that's, to me, that's why I feel like there's always opportunity. So there's no reason to gatekeep when people ask for, advice or anything like that, because there's an abundance of everything. There's so many opportunities. There's so many, ways to go about it. So I find myself like, why am I in my own way? Mm-hmm. Like, why did it take me so long to finally start a YouTube? Why did it take me, so long to just say, I'm tired of creating for everybody else. I want to create for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that, I think my faith has helped me to stick around this long as an entrepreneur and do these things. But I also feel like I'm not doing enough. Like I'm always, just tippy-toeing and like finally diving all the way into what he has for me in a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you feel like that.
Well, and it gets that way because we have a natural inclination to fear.
Yeah.
Right. Our minds naturally gravitate towards fear and the assumption that what if it's not good enough? What if they don't accept me? What if they think that they'll read through it and be like, oh, you know what? I've seen better, or that doesn't look. Well, yeah, they could, but what if they don't? Man. And here's the truth is, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and wherever you are in your level of production in social media, if you've got 5 followers, 5,000 followers, today is the least amount of followers you will ever have.
Man, that's true. That's true.
So what are you worried about? They're already following you. They like you already. So what are they going to be like? Oh, man, now I don't like you. Well, they clicked follow for a reason unless you bought your followers.
That's true.
So it's your organic market. So market to them, the people that actually love you. And if they love you, they're going to love you. And if they don't, they'll be like, bro, all right. And if they truly love you, here's the truth. The people in your group, you need to realize that they're a circle or a cage. Because if they're a circle, they'll circumference you and support you. If they're a cage, they're going to stifle you and suffocate your dreams. And so I trust my circle to help me to be better.
Right. So how can being faithful to whatever religion you is, let's just not, put this to just Christian, but whatever religion,
whatever your faith
is, how could staying faithful and staying committed, how does that help you in your opinion? How does that help you in your career or in your, you know what I mean? Because I think it teaches you how to stay down and stay committed, stay consistent, by people, like you say, you just come to church every Sunday. Some people come to church every Sunday and maybe they're not really receiving the word, but they just come every Sunday. But then eventually you being there, one Sunday it may hit you a little different. So if you show up in your career, you show up to whatever it is you're doing, whatever, like you say, you can be a tax preparer or anything, but you show up, eventually something can happen from that. And is that something that faith kind of teaches you?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what
absolutely. I mean? I believe that consistency is the key or the shift that moves you from average to excellence.
Sheesh.
And the way that we do that is we have to keep doing it. But here's the problem with us is that consistency can be done wrong. You can have bad habits, right? You can habitually do something the wrong way, just as much as you can habitually do something the right way. So it's not about what you're doing consistently, but what you are consistently doing correctly. So we can make mistakes, but we learn from it. In James chapter 1, verse 4, it talks about how you, in this perseverance, it says, persevere. It says, and then you will become perfect and lacking nothing. Well, that perfect that he's talking about means well-rounded.
Yeah.
And we must recognize that in life, we will make mistakes. In life, we'll do it. But here's the truth. It's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to stay there. So when he says you make mistakes, he's saying, now, because of the mistake, let the mistake now push you to be even better. But if the mistake allows you, if you have a mistake and you're like, oh, I'm done. Well, then my question is, I challenge your why. Why were you doing it anyway? Wow. Because if you quit because one didn't work out, well, your why wasn't strong enough. But if your why is to be excellent at your craft, then excellence comes through failures, mistakes, things that don't go right. But if you're pursuing perfection over progress, you'll always be frustrated. Right? If you're pursuing progress, what that means is it may not have been perfect this week. I may not have posted 5 times this week, but I posted. And I may not have 10,000 views this week, but you know what? I had 1. And last time I checked, it only takes 1 to be successful.
Sheesh.
So if we're talking about consistency, if you even look at it this way, and if you, and there was a motivational speaker was talking about, he said, if you have a tree and you're just swinging at that tree in different spaces, the tree will eventually fall. He said, but if you are swinging at the right space at the right time, eventually that tree will fall a lot quicker than the person that's just swinging all over the tree. So if your craft is music, if your craft is video, if your craft is preaching, if your craft is teaching, then you find your niche. Here's the truth. What they say? Money. It's something about where there is the money is in the niche or something like that. Right. But it's like when you find that, that's where it comes from. So you find the thing that you're good at. And I guarantee somebody wants what you like.
That's true.
But get good at it.
And
be consistent.
That's my thing is like, I think as humans, we, first off, we're imperfect.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're not perfect. So we're chasing perfection. And then when you want to start something new, it's like, I'm not going to be good. I'm not going to be perfect. No. And that's where I feel like people don't start things. Even me, I mean, taking my own life, for example. I've, made a way on Instagram and it took me years to build a following and do all those things. But I didn't know at the time. It was like, I'm just building something. And then when you want to start something new, you be like, yeah, but it's not gonna be the same as what's going on over here. Right. So I get intimidated in a way. You know what I mean? And then to where I have to force myself, which is what I'm doing this year, or force myself to get out of my own way and just try something new at the bottom again. And I don't know why I let my brain convince me that it's not cool to start from the bottom. I started from the bottom in another platform. But consistency, what you're speaking of.
And bottom is relative.
That's true.
Bottom is relative because your bottom, it might be somebody's top.
Dang. Talk to him.
Right? You're but the thing is, it's they say you'll never you'll never experience the things that you've never tried, right? So how will I know unless I tried it? And if I don't try it, I won't know. The only thing I want to regret in life is what I ordered for dinner. Dang. I wanted to say I tried it, and Miles Monroe talks about dying empty. I don't want to go to heaven saying I could have, or I should have, or I would have. I want to say I tried it. And I understand with that, you've got to be strategic. You can't be like, man, I've always wanted to fly a PJ, man. So I blew a bag on the PJ, but yeah, I can't afford lunch this week. Nah, not like that. You're strategic with your attempts. But the thing is, go after it. Today is the last day it'll be today. Man,
I like it was a photographer. He does film. He shot that famous photo from the movie. What's the movie with the black couple and they and they were on the run and they ended up killing.
Yes. I can't remember the name of the movie.
But it's on the tip of my tongue. And he shot that famous photo of them on the car and everything.
Yes,
he did
where
the photo shoot.
This hand slap thing. And she's like, I know
and I seen a YouTube video. There was introducing him and shout out to him. He basically said it's always right now, meaning that. Stop putting stuff on hold when you should just do it right now because you never know.
You never know.
It's always right now. So that's, I'm trying to fix my diet of what I'm watching, what I'm reading. Because I feel like I'm wasting time. The time is now. And let's just do it. And then I'm going to be better in 5 years or in 2 years. If I don't show consistency, if I don't test my faith, I'll always be the
Right.
same.
And,
where I'm at.
and trust is something that's built over time, not overnight. So it's something that, like, I'll start small and I'll start growing with it. So maybe you want to make a movie. Let's start with the reel, right? Or if you're like, man, I'm just not quite sure on, I want to preach a sermon. Well, when's the last time you talked to your family about what it is?
Yeah.
I want to be a professional photographer.
Yeah.
Well, when's the last time you took a picture of yourself, your dog, your kids, or something like start there.
Yeah.
And as you build, not only trusting your equipment, but trusting the product that you create from your equipment,
because
then you build from there.
Because you said when God created it, he knew it was good.
He knew it was good.
Yeah.
I had to see that. I had to be like, I see this as good.
Yes.
And if I'm not impressed by it, why would I expect you to be impressed by it?
Exactly. I get that. That's what I'm saying with the creativity. It's like the faith will teach you that it's already, it's good. You're good enough. You're worthy enough. You're there. And then when you put it out there for the world, you need to go create something else.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
go
you can't just
something
live
else
off that one thing.
and realize everybody's going to have something to say.
Man.
Everybody's going to have something to say. Jesus, in all of his work, people were still like, bro, you know it's the Sabbath, my guy. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you don't see this dude? I just see him. Yeah, I know, but it's the Sabbath. You know, Jesus on the cross, and like they're like, hey, but can I get that shirt up off you, my guy? And he's like, somebody's always gonna have something to say. But the challenge is, are you more confident in what you're doing than what people are saying about what you're doing? The Bible says this. He says, being confident in this, that he that began a good work in you will see it through. I am confident that whatever he has given me to do, if he gave it to me, my daddy don't give me no junk. And I have a kid, and I would be a fool to give my son something that I would not want myself.
Wow.
He does not deny his children good things. So he gave you that gift, not so that you would look how great it is, but to do something with it. How dare I take the gift that my Father has given me and said it's only for me? He gave it to us because he wants us to do something with it. That's why the parable of talents is really a parable of opportunities. And they already had, you've got it. So what are you going to do with the opportunities?
What's crazy is I feel like I've started my whole creative mindset and things like that in church. It was when I was a kid. I remember like it was yesterday, we were like vacation Bible school. I'm probably like 5, 6 years old. And they were like, who wants to be Jesus in the play? And I was like, I'll do it. Yeah. And then I realized that night when it was finally time to perform in front of the whole church, that I'm nervous. Yes. And I was like, bro, this is my hands. I have sweaty hands naturally, but my hands are like dripping sweat. And all I could think was, please, God, don't let me mess up. Please don't let me. And then I went out there and I think I killed it. I mean, everybody was like, oh my God, you're good at this. And that just started like, I'm good at this. Like it kind of just sparked something in me. And then from there, I went to school and I would do stuff at school, do plays, do, so many things. And I would shoot stuff with my dad's camera. He had the big on-shoulder one and stuff.
Yeah, I had one of those too.
So it's like the creativity has been like in me. It's not like something that I just started to do. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? And I think the fact that my mom had us in church since we were kids and just kept us there, it allowed me a space to figure it out, to figure out, what you want to do. Space.
And when it's something that you really care about, I don't care how much you try to hide from it, run from it, man, that thing's going to chase you down. Yeah. It's just, I passionately love video and photography, and man, I'm a preacher. Yeah. Like that's my job. But then I find myself sitting behind my laptop making videos and posting them for the youth department because I truly love it. Yeah. And when you love something, man, you work at it. And here's the thing that we've got to understand. Because it's something that you love, that doesn't mean that it's your job. Right? I love photography, but my job is this. My passion is church. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I don't love creating still and doing the video. I love that stuff. Yeah. And so you can do both and it's okay.
And I've seen you grow I remember probably 2019. Yeah. Before COVID, you were like, oh man, I had no content and this and that. And we were like, bro, just start posting every day. Man. Start posting every day. And I remember your shoe game was like,
oh yeah,
you were
like, had one in a possible.
Right, right. And then you just started to say, you know what? I do like shoes. I've always wanted to get these, and you would start grabbing pairs, and I'm like, dang, Will, you got some. Like he has more shoes than me now. Like let's just be real. Yes, but you grew you came out of a shell, and then it was just like you started posting more. Yeah, and now it's like I expect Will to post something every week because
Like,
if he doesn't,
yeah.
are you okay? Like, what's
Feed the
going on
baby,
over there?
man.
Yes, you
what
know what I
you feed
mean.
will grow and what you starve will die. So you can't
Yes.
be mad that people stop watching. You stop posting.
You stop posting. You know what I mean?
And here's what I had to learn, the trick that for your psyche and your mental is post and walk away. Like when you post something, don't go back and look at it for at least an hour.
Dang, good stuff.
At least an hour. Because if you post and you start going back at it immediately after you post, it's going to drive you nuts. Post, walk away from an hour. And even for myself, for my mental is in 2025, I don't get on social media before noon.
Good. Really?
Before
When did
noon,
that
just
start?
don't get on it. Well, and it's not that it was bad for me. It wasn't like it was hurting me, but it's what I believe this year is habits aren't always bad things. But you can have some habits that are more hurtful than helpful. I wear glasses, and it's winter here in Houston.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do this. I do this. This is a struggle. But I have a bad habit of putting my hoodie on while my glasses are still on my face.
So
and then next thing you know, I'm fishing my glasses out of my shirt to get it, right?
Okay.
It's a habit. It doesn't hurt me.
But
how much time would it take for me to take my glasses off, put my shirt on, then put my glasses back on?
Probably.
What I learned is that although it wasn't bad that I was on social media, but it was siphoning time that I could be putting somewhere else.
Man, that's powerful.
It's not a bad habit. I mean, it's good. I grow from it. I learn from it, but it wasn't hurting me, but it definitely was not helping.
It wasn't adding any value.
It wasn't adding value.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to be more.
Before noon? No, I need, because that time is where I'm most productive.
Right. Time is so valuable.
Yeah. So
and that's what I'm learning is like,
noon. We're okay.
I can't waste any more years because the time is so valuable.
No.
And the habit for me is you spend so much time on Instagram and so much time like consuming that content that Instagram doesn't pay me $1.
No.
I can look on my Instagram, the Instagram bonus, whatever, and I received some bonuses before, but it wasn't nothing significant. Yeah. So to know that, hey, I have cameras, I'm filming everybody else doing everything. Why am I not dedicating the time that's valuable to the platform that would actually pay me, for the value that I can bring? And I just want to, and also I feel like I'm kind of cheating everybody because I get to have conversations with so many people.
There you go.
That I never even thought of, like, let me just sit them down and record this because they're going to talk to me anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have such great conversation. Just asking you, hey, Will, you got time? Yes. I never ask people for anything.
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst thing I'm gonna say? No.
Right. Cool.
You still my dog.
Yeah, I'm not tripping.
I know we ain't doing that. And that's where we have to determine the difference between value and worth. Value is extrinsic. Value is we get that from what people say about us, what people have done, or the likes and all that stuff. That's extrinsic. That's value. Worth is intrinsic. Worth is like, I am a child of God. Worth is, this is what is and worth is really developed from a consensus of people, right? So I know that this camera's worth as much because this group of people have come together to determine it.
Right.
But value is extrinsic, meaning that I see it as value because I need it. But how much is it worth? Right. That's how you could be a worthy person that people don't see value in.
Right.
But you're still worthy. So what do? I post. And I make sure that
I was about to say get around different people.
And you do get around people. We get around people who see your value, who see your value.
Right.
Right. But it's still extrinsic. You have to see it for yourself. Once again, in Genesis, before a single person could speak, God said, I saw that it was good. So until I see that it's good, I will limit myself to what other people see that is good. And what's problem is, unless you know who you are, you'll accept anybody else's definition.
Dang, Will. Hey, man, look, man. This is why I want to talk to you, because you bring these gems that they just come out in the conversation. It's not like, I know in our head we think, okay, I'm going to talk about this, but then just natural conversation, you drop these gems, man. And I'm going to let you go, but last thing I want to ask you about, it's on your shirt.
Yes.
Due season.
Due season.
That was something you created.
I did.
What does that mean, and what can that help some of my my viewers to in their journey?
Man, it was in a season of my life where I was uncertain about my purpose, my destiny, what's next. And I was reading a scripture where it says, "Don't grow weary in doing good. For in due season, you'll reap a harvest if you don't lose heart." It goes back to consistency, right? Consistency is what takes us from average to excellence. And I said, well, so often we talk about the DUE season, what I can expect. But if you're not DOing anything in this season, you can't expect anything in the DUE season. Dang. And so I took it personally to say, what am I doing today? What am I doing now?
Yeah. And
I live by this adage that says hard work works.
Right.
And they tell you, oh, work smart. True. But even in working smart, you got to work hard. You can work smart, but it's going to take some hard work. And so I live by that. And now when I speak at high schools, when I go to churches, when I speak in other platforms, I try to remind them that whatever you expect in the DUE season is predicated on what you DO in this season. So if you want to see it, you better do it.
Right. It's about the doing.
It's about the doing,
man. And I'm trying it, brother. I'm telling you.
Yeah. We're human beings, right? Right. Well, we got to do the work, man.
Yeah. What they say, prayer without works is dead.
It's dead, man. I mean, faith without works is dead.
Faith without works is dead. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I just think that is your foundation. You have to have some type of belief. And if you don't believe in what you're doing, if you don't believe in what's going on, how do you expect anybody else to believe you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where I sprinkle in faith every now and again on my stories and in posts. I do it specifically because I just want to say thank you, God, or I'm grateful, all those type of things. And I just feel like when I do so and I allow other people to see that, okay, his name is Bishop, but he actually is a faith foundation is that's his thing. Yeah. I think it also allows him to know that I'm being genuine here. It's not absolutely. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fabricated thing. I actually enjoy coming to work. I enjoy.
Yeah, it's something you. Yeah.
Yes. It's not. Just
that don't mean it's not hard some days.
Oh man, it's hard, bro. But it's hard because to deal with that and deal with production and deal with church, man, I'm learning that's a whole nother beast to tackle.
Thing. I think in anything you do, there's gonna be some tough moments and some tough days, and if it wasn't, then I question whether it's gonna be. And that's the grind. Here's the truth: is that smooth mountains don't make strong climbers. And so if you are really trying to be the top of your craft and the good things, realize that there's going to be some jagged moments. There's going to be some rough moments. Yeah. But don't you understand that those rugged moments create handholds for you to hold on to and footholds for you to step into? If it was smooth every day, what will you hold on to? You can hold on to those moments that I remember when I was on ramen noodles and a Fuji camera with a crank on the side of it, right?
Yeah, I remember.
But because I remember that, here's the truth: He's the God of the mountaintop, and He's the lily in the valley. He will be with you wherever you are, but He's challenging us in whatever space it is, to trust Him and keep pushing.
And that's on us, man. We'll tell them where they can find you,
brother.
Man, please.
You can find me at church because I didn't check. No, I'm kidding. I got to go to work. Got to get this money by tomorrow.
Stop trying to get this money by tomorrow.
Say your mama's business. Man, it loves laughing, right? Laugh at yourself sometimes. It's okay.
Oh, my God.
No, but really, I got to get this money by tomorrow.
Right.
My name is Will Cumby. You can find me on Instagram at WillC27, WillC27. I'm on Facebook, but I don't check it, but you can check it if you want to. LinkedIn, and my website is williamcumby.com. And listen, if you need somebody to do your wedding, I do that too.
Hey, this guy,
Jack of all trades.
He's very good at weddings. And he has books, he has other things.
I can do it.
I just want y'all to know that he is a guy that you want to follow. I hope you enjoyed the conversation, man. Will, we appreciate you. We'll tap in with y'all again. Please hit the subscribe button if you can. If not, I hope I come across your feed again. Appreciate you guys. Peace.